So they destroyed Tesla's labs and destroyed his research and kept him poor and miserable, which is the way he died, in debt, poor, miserable, never been, looked at fondly, really. And it was all to keep the certain people that that had the power and the money to keep themselves at the top, like the insurance companies. Yes, they're lobbying the hell out of the government because they don't want socialized health care because, like you said, their business is done. They have to shift dynamics. Well, we don't care about these multi-million-dollar people anymore. We have to be more concerned about the average American and not these large corporations that have enough money to live for many lifetimes.
I found it interesting that somebody had said, and I want to say it might have been Elon Musk. I could be wrong, but it was somebody along the lines of the intellectual that said something to the degree of, if Tesla would have succeeded, we might not have gotten the computer system. And I was like, wait, what? He said it because what we went through with the electricity was the wiring that went throughout the country and throughout the world, and the wiring set up what we have for the computering. So it might have even been something from the outside of a futuristic standpoint of, okay, no, we need to go this route, because this route will lead into this. And it could have been guardian angels, could have been, angels or aliens that were setting the course of time. It could have been any of that. But it started to make sense to me as to why Tesla didn't excel the way he did.
And he was way before his time. I mean, what was this, the 40s, the 30s? I mean, it was a long time ago.
Brilliant in all aspects.
Oh, brilliant, so brilliant. And the thing I have to say to that is, even if the wiring that we used to, to do our electric system is the same wiring we used to do computers, and if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have computers, I'm like, okay, but if we would have went with Tesla in the 40s, that's 80 years ago or something like that now, we would probably not need the internet and computers because we could very well be telepathic. So it's hard to say if, when, buts, why, maybes, and all this stuff, because who knows exactly where we could have been. Surely maybe we wouldn't have had computers, but could we have bypassed computers and went straight to the source and everyone's telepathic? Because we don't have all these distractions and we're getting free energy and we're tapping into alien intelligence and things like that. So it's interesting. It's so funny you brought up Elon Musk, because just going to the grocery store the other day, I was talking with my boyfriend and I was like, do you think Elon Musk is Tesla incarnate? And he was like, no, do you? And I was like, no, but they have some seriously similar energies, and it's very revolutionary, and it's in my opinion, it has a lot of heart energy in it, and I think it looks fantastic. And I think that actually we have Tesla stopping in for a little channel, and he's saying, well, Elon Musk is my brother. We have incarnated before. So there you go.
I was going to say, they
Elon's
come from
connection.
the same family. That's how
they do. They do.
Yeah,
that same inventor family. Yeah, it's really cool. I love Tesla. I think that his work is fantastic. And there was also a gentleman doing some similar work, killing cancer cells in the 1930s and 40s, Dr. Royal Rife, and he was using electrical frequencies to heal certain ailments. And you can get one of his devices today. One of the biggest distributors is in my hometown, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I got the True Rife machine, and I got it years and years ago, and it has a detox foot bath portion as well as the light frequency portion. And
is this a plug?
I'm a firm believer.
Is this a commercial?
I should call him.
Are we stopping? Are we doing something?
All
right, let's take a couple minutes so we can.
I should call him and be like, hey, I plugged you. I'm going to need a check in the mail.
There you go. Tell him. Say it. Tell him we'll keep doing it, too, as well. You never know.
Which reminds me, actually, I don't think we have. Let's see if we have a commercial that we can play. No, we don't have a. We do have a commercial to play. I'm going to play it. We'll be back in 50 seconds. I'm going to get a glass of water.
My friends.
You're listening to Third Eye Political Radio. and we really appreciate you joining us. And when you have a moment, why don't you check out our sister station, Heart Over Ego Radio, where we offer a lineup of shows that are guaranteed to raise your vibrations and guide you into your best life. We offer shows on Sundays, Everyday Psychic Radio, Mondays, The Alchemy Sisters, Tuesdays, Radical Spirituality, and on Wednesdays, All for One is Love. And then we close out the week on Fridays with Rain Radio. Amazing shows produced for you 5 days a week, only on Blog Talk Radio. That's right, it's our sister station, Heart Over Ego Radio.
Welcome back to Politically Skewed. Did I see what?
Did you see the State of the Union?
No. Tell me a little bit about that. You said you watched that too.
I mean, it's about as what you can expect from it. But the level of pandering is, I just don't recall it to be that type of desperation. That's how I felt. Like, he went through his little spiel about, everything is the best that it's ever been in all categories. We are leading the world in every type of endeavor, and we're profiting more than, all that shit for maybe 45 minutes or whatever.
Oh, my
God. And the
God.
second, but then it was just like every once in a while he would go to somebody else in the crowd that they had, brought in, that was supposed to be there so they can draw attention to him to stand up, either Hispanic, African American, female, or a brother of the police force of somebody who had been killed, or a military person. That it was just so fucking over the top. It's sad to me in the respect that people can be this vulnerable or be this delusional to think that this is all you have to do is just keep on flashing these images in people's faces and like, oh, he's a good guy. Look at him. Look what he's doing for this group, this community.
So much pandering.
It's a show. It's an absolute pandering. But the left does that shit too. Bernie, I will say that Bernie feels sincere when he's doing that, and so does Yang. They feel sincere when they're talking about the shit. With
Bernie speaks my language. Bernie really does. He's like, got to go after this institution. We got to break down corruption. We got to tear down, the poor constructs of things that don't work anymore. I love how he is very vocal about going up against the powers that be. He's been in, I almost said Hollywood, very similar. He's been in D.C. for so long that he knows these people in and out. And if anyone can get inside and implode it, I think it's him. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time.
That's my problem, Jen, is that he's been there so long that he's got to know what the fuck is going on behind closed doors. And even to a point, so why would he want to keep on going forward knowing that nobody else has been able to do this before, to break the system, to reveal the system? If he is not, and here's why I keep on going back, if he's not talking about the Federal Reserve, then he is really a part of it.
Does he talk about it much? Does he talk about the Federal Reserve?
And not that I have never heard him say anything.
Me neither.
About it. And the people that do talk about it are railroaded instantly. So, so what I'm saying, you're kind of playing ball with it. So if you are playing ball with it, no matter what your image is, or no matter what you've been doing all these years to lead up to this point, we all know that it's still a show. So
I do agree that it's a show, but I do feel like if anyone could be an infiltrator and break down the construct inside of the construct, it would be him. And guess what? There's another socialist Jew that did very similar construct breaking, and he was actually hung at the stake, the cross, Jesus Christ himself, whether you believe that he was real or not.
Well, that's not optimistic.
No, but Bernie's gotten a lot further. Bernie's gotten a lot further with his constructs and his understandings and his teachings, where Jesus, of course, died at 32. We have Bernie sitting, at least 40 years older than him right now. But I just think it's very interesting.
Jesus is more impressive overall. I would say Jesus is left more of a stake.
You think he has?
I mean, Bernie doesn't have a number of religions following him even after his death.
And I'm sure he's glad about that. But yeah, because those followers get crazy. I have a bumper sticker that was like, Jesus, save me from your followers. They're fucking nuts. But it's important to know that Jesus wasn't Christian. He was raised Jewish, and he wasn't Christian, and humans took it upon themselves to create dogma with his word. But I just think it's really interesting that 2,000 plus 2,000 whatever years later, 2020-ish years later, we have another Jew standing up against corruption. And of course, I'm sure there's been plenty of lists that Bernie was on. I'm sure they considered hardcore, and by they I mean shadow government, the ones who put down JFK and Martin Luther King, or their predecessors or predecessors, it seems like they would have already killed him. But I think that Bernie put himself in an incarnation where, it was going to be less and less of the U.S. government being able to take out revolutionary leaders. So either he slipped through the cracks or he just lined it up right. But it'll just all be very interesting to see how it plays out. Do you think that Elizabeth Warren's ego can sit in the back seat and play second fiddle as vice president for Bernie? Do you think that if he even wanted her to, that she would do it?
Well, I mean, that's the big question, if he would even want her to, and why would he even want her to? Because
of her attitude.
I mean, it's just, there's nothing appealing to her, in my opinion. There's nothing exciting about her. There's nothing that Elizabeth Warren, but she's done this. I'm just, no, there's nothing that it would be a detriment to him, in my opinion, to pick her up as a running mate.
At this point, I think you're right.
There's nothing,
and,
nothing, it's inspiring.
Hillary Clinton didn't endorse Bernie, and Bernie's camp came back and said, thank you for not endorsing us. They don't want any association with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but Bernie fucked himself on that shit. See, Bernie was the one that still, championed her after the debacle of the DNC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
he did.
Now, you can look at Bernie as saying, because he's that good of a guy, he cared that much about the Democrats that he was willing to take a back seat just so they can beat Trump. But as a man, you got cheated, and you still let that shit go. So that kind of, it kind of puts that chink in his armor that you are prepared to take a back seat based on the betterment of whatever you are involved in.
Well, I remember that, and I remember really, and again, I'm a psychic in my day job, I remember thinking I would bet my house that Bernie Sanders has more followers than Hillary Clinton, and I saw him winning energetically. And no, of course, the DNC flipped and tripped it and put Hillary in there, and she fucking lost to Trump. So had Bernie and Michael Moore,
too.
He should have, and Michael Moore made a whole movie
let's do
talking
this.
about that.
We need,
he
need to address this shit.
He should have. Remember, we have to get off here because our show is over, and it went so quickly, but we'll do a part 2 next week. You're here with Bo Micadelic and Jennie McDaniel. This is Politically Skewed. We're going to see about doing a show next week, Sunday. We are going to go 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for joining me, Bo. It feels like we're getting cut off. I think we could go on and on for hours and hours, but let's meet back next week and we'll continue the conversation. And until then, everyone have a lovely week. And thanks for showing up, Bo.
Please.
Welcome to Downward Dogma.
Oops, wrong one. Thanks, everyone.
I thought it was great.
That is